5. So Light Sweeper moved up. The fillies are now ready for the first on the card. Set to run. They're off at the 1400 metres. Radiant Star jumping fairly. Feather Duster out the back with Frass and Light Sweeper. Mutate goes forward today and is in search of the lead. And it's Mutate going to the front now from Songs of Vienna, who's settling up on the outside of Radiant Star. Pointed is handy at 2 up in 4th placing, followed by Carly and Rather Grand. 2 lengths further back is Diamond Haley. Pointed got squeezed a little there and lost ground. Next Feather Duster, Frass and Light Sweeper. Mutate comes towards the 850 metre mark by 2 lengths. Songs of Vienna second, Radiant Star third, 2 to Rather Grand fourth, outside of Carly, about 3 to Pointed, Diamond Haley, 2 to Feather Duster, Frass and Light Sweeper last as they swing towards the turn. Little over 600 metres to go and Mutate the leader. Songs of Vienna up in second placing, coming around the turn, about 2 to 3 to Radiant Star, Rather Grand, to Carly 50 inside on the green sleeves and cap, and then Pointed. Feather Duster pulls out wide, followed by Diamond Haley, and then Light Sweeper, and a long last is Frass in the straight, and Mutate staying well off the rails at the 400. The leader from Songs of Vienna, who's claimed it very quickly, and up the middle of the track dashes to the front. Feather Duster runs on. Carly battling away on the inside, and Light Sweeper's coming with a run, the widest runner down the outside. Songs of Vienna at the 150 in front. Light Sweeper from last is mowing it down, 100 to go. Light Sweeper raced up to Songs of Vienna and then Feather Duster, and Light Sweeper comes right away for Noel Kello to win it easily by about 2 or 3 to Songs of Vienna second, Feather Duster third, and then there's a break to Rather Grand, Pointed and Radiant Star in a line. Next Frass. Diamond Haley didn't do a thing, followed by Mutate, who dropped right out, and the Carly was set at the end of the field last in. They're all in, set to run. Line looks pretty good. Racing now. Free Hit jumping just a touch awkwardly. Unguarded Moment began well. Paraka's got away quickly too, and they're going to come to the grandstand side today. Fairweather's leading against the fence out here as they settle into stride. Paraka in the red colours with the black blinkers is going up quickly. Dolphin Dance just easing in behind that bunch of horses with violet tints, and Don't Tell Them the Greys tracking the front runner. Coming up the middle of the course, Free Hit in the green colours with the shadow rollers very prominent. Delane deep out close to the middle of the track, and I Want You Back just behind those mares, followed by Unguarded Moment in the white colours with the white blinkers, only about 2 or 3 lengths from the leader. Regal Tess is under the whip, and Rory's Jane and Kelcheck are well back in the field. They come past the 400. Free Hit well away from the rail, has raced up and gone to the lead from I Want You Back. Fairweather this side, followed by Paraka. Don't Tell Him against the fence, coming with a run, and then Unguarded Moment and Dolphin Dance, who are battling away. They come past the clock tower now, and it's I Want You Back and Fairweather, and down the outside Don't Tell Them, followed by Paraka. Free Hit and Don't Tell Them fight the race out. Don't Tell Them the outside and Free Hit hit it together, nothing between them. Don't Tell Them and Free Hit close. Paraka might have grabbed the third, followed by I Want You Back and Rory's Jane, a better run today. Then Fairweather, who weakened out over the closing stages, followed in by Delane, and then Unguarded Moment, who battled, and so did Violet Tints, Kelcheck, and towards the end of the field Regal Test one of the last, and Dolphin Dance also well back. Don't Tell Them on the outside, and Free Hit have fought the race out. Now they're all in, and they're away at the 1600. Bun Fight jumping well with Umdinger, and Academy Dancer began okay. In the early stages, British Busker just off the speed on the inside, and Zero Engagement goes forward through the first couple of 100 metres, past the 1400 metres, and Bun Fight the leader. Umdinger's a length and a quarter away second. Zero Engagement up to third on the outside. British Busker fourth on the rail, followed closely by Academy Dancer. A length and a half on the green, who's going quickly in the orange cap right around the outside to sit more prominent, and they're trailed by Special Scene, Foxborough, Thorns as well back, and 2 to Glefty. Up the side they race. Bun Fight the leader on the green, moved up on the outside at the 1000 and heads it now. 2 lengths to Zero Engagement third. On the rails is Umdinger, 2 Academy Dancer, and they're trailed by British Busker, a touch worse in midfield the rail, and then Foxborough, Special Scene, followed by Thorns and Glefty last. At the 700 metres on the green, the leader, a length and a half clear now to Bun Fight. Zero Engagement third, Umdinger fourth on the inside, and then Academy Dancer in the green sleeves and cap. On the rails is British Busker, and they're trailed by Special Scene as they swing the corner, and then Foxborough, Thorns and Glefty. Into the straight, they all stay well away from the rail again. On the green in front of Bunfight. They're followed by Umdinger coming up on the inside. Zero Engagement getting to the outside to launch its run. And the widest Academy Dancer. And Foxborough's coming with a strong burst now. Coming to the 200 on the green in front. Foxborough pegs it back, hits the front now. And they're trailed by Bunfight and Zero Engagement, and Thorns has made ground, but Foxborough's full of running. Racing clear inside the 100-metre mark, about 3 lengths in front. Good battle for the miners, but Foxborough won it eased up. Bunfight might grab second from Thorns. Photo finish there. Then Umdinger on the green. Zero Engagement battled away only, and so did Academy Dancer. Next special scene in a long break then to British Busker, and Glefty was last all the way. Tried at odds, number 7, Fresh Up, Foxborough, Darren Beedman and Nigel Blackiston combined to take out the third event of the day in 1:37.9. Bookmakers, please rule a line. A betting announcement to follow the running of the Sweps 1100 metres. Down to 6 now, and they're off. And more Perignon jump well with Critical List near the outside. Dilly Dally did jump out of the stalls all right, and Dance the Waves also, and they're coming up the middle of the track for the time being. Absolute Truth has dropped out to be last of all. They come along to the 800-metre mark now, and Critical List with the red blinkers close to this rail would be the leader in company with more Perignon. Dilly Dally in the yellow and black stripes settling third. Dance the Waves close to the middle of the course in the red colours. Winestock is behind it, and last of all is Absolute Truth. So they come inside the 600 metres now. More Perignon in the pink would be the leader now. It's more Perignon from Critical List, and handy to these is Dilly Dally. Dance the Waves still close to the middle of the track as the widest runner, followed then by Winestock, just held up over their heels, and Absolute Truth now last, coming to the outside rail. They reach the 250-metre mark. More Perignon, Dilly Dally, Dance the Waves, the three of them, with Winestock putting in a run. 150 metres to go now, and Dilly Dally moved up to more Perignon, Dance the Waves. Great battle here. Dilly Dally really finding the line strongly. Draws clear. Look at her go the last bit. Dilly Dally brilliantly by a length. Dance the Wave second. More Perignon third. Winestock 2 lengths away. Then Absolute Truth, and a distant last, Critical List. Number 2, the winner, Dilly Dally. An early double for Darren Beedman. The portents are looking good. 3.30 and 1.70 Dilly Dally. Dance the Waves will pay $1.90. No dividend for more Perignon.
Brought to you by Jayco Caravans. We'll be right back. Correct weighted Eagle Farm and Race 2. 8 got fourth, 5.348. First 4 paid $1,169 even. Black Ink, trained by Les Kelly, got the money. They're moving in for the sires at Flemington. Here's Greg.
Next up, Picket Fence in the cerise colours. First of our Group 1 races, and Zenkel has been heavily supported to run favourite. Quite an extraordinary thing. Not that I'm saying he can't do it, but the ask to step out of a maiden to Group 1 is probably the biggest step you could ask a 2-year-old to make. And here he is in one of the big races, heavily supported to run favourite. Barely a moment about to come up. Tirade to get set. French Ploy approaching the barrier stalls. Zenkel is raced by Daly Australia, who sponsor for the first time the main race today, the Australian Cup. French Ploy moves up into the gates for Noel Kello. Big Papa Pump about to come along. FedEx, Dover Heights and the favourite Zenkel to get set. Now FedEx comes up. Zenkel goes in, drawn towards the outside. Now Dover Heights next to come up into his place for Eddie Wilkinson, and Big Papa Pump, who's strung together 3 impressive victories, comes up to complete the line. The first of the 2 Group 1 races. The VRC size produce is ready. Off Kylie Kwong bombed the start down on the inside. Slow to move in his last. French Floy a touch slow. Luna Spur first out. Lands in front of Big Papa Pump, who is driving hard looking for the lead. Public Opinion settles down third, and barely a moment now fourth on the inside. A length and a half further back in the field is Stringent, followed by Zankel going up 3 and 4 wide. Then French Ploy, picket fence over on the inside. Cramp for room and ridden up. They're trailed by Tirade. A length and a half. San Zero restrained well off the pace, and then Kylie Kwong as they came up the side. FedEx had gone back to amongst the tail enders with 800 metres left to go, and last is Dover Heights. Big Papa Pump has the lead. Luna Spur is second as they come to the turn. They're trailed by Public Opinion, third on the outside in the pink sleeves, and they're trailed closely by Barely a Moment. Over on the inside is Picket Fence, and then came Zankel working into it wide, followed by Stringent and Tirade. Next as they swing the corner, FedEx, San Zero very wide. In the straight, Big Papa Pump the leader from Luna Spur. Picket Fence down the outside, Public Opinion. Zankel's coming with its run wider out at the 300 now, and Big Papa Pump is being tackled by the filly Luna Spur. Zankel, Public Opinion and Barely a Moment are putting in runs, and Kylie Kwong is running a huge race the inside. 150 left to go. Big Papa Pump has the lead narrowly. Coming hard, Barely a Moment. Barely a Moment down the middle of the course, grabs the lead and wins the sires. Barely a Moment first. Close for the minors, Big Papa Pump or Kylie Kwong, which has been a big run. Next to finish in the race was Luna Spur, in company there with Tirade, Public Opinion and then Zankel, trailed by San Zero, and back behind those are FedEx being followed. Then at the head of the other horses was Stringent, who didn't finish his race off, and he was followed by French Ploy, and towards the end of the field, second last in fact, is Dover Heights, and Picket Fence last of all. Barely a Moment has taken out the sires for Greg Childs. His first victory in the race. Victory 2 for Tony McAvoy, number 5 the winner. Barely a Moment, Greg Childs. Photo finish for the minor end of the prize, but no doubt about Barely a Moment taking the race out by about 3/4 of a length. Second looks like Big Papa Pump will grab that, a nose in front of Kylie Kwong, who's been a huge run after missing the start. Here are the placings now. 7 is second, Big Papa Pump. Stan Sakos, and 14 third, Kylie Kwong, written by Craig Newitt. 5, 7 and 14. The winner $13 and $3.90. Big Papa Pump $4.50, and Kylie Kwong to return $7.20. 5, 7 and 14 are official in the sires. Barely a Moment has won the race. Greg Childs, who's been placed on a couple of occasions in this Group 1 race without victory in the past, has lifted this 2-year-old colt, a son of Gilded Time and Lady Denner, over the line for Tony McAvoy. A winner on the Lakeside track back in December when racing very greenly, and then went back to Adelaide for the breeders.
Yes, last time out was the Magic Millions for Barely a Moment. Wasn't beaten all that far by Oratorio. That's the Adelaide Magic Millions, but spot on today. Let's go down to Andrew Bensley at Flemington.
Yeah, and Tony McAvoy's joining us here in all the discussion. What about that for a ride, first of all?
It was a first-class ride. He's a big race jockey, and that was wonderful, and a great run by the horse.
Just really kept fighting there, getting out wide, but he's just a nice, promising type.
You'll see in the replay, he hit a bit of a flat spot, Andrew, and I thought, oh, he's going to run a nice 5th or 6th, the horse, and then he just started to get into another gear and was at his strongest on the line. So he's always sort of suggested to us that he's going to make into a lovely horse, but wants to be 3. But he asked us to continue on with him this prep, and I'm glad we did.
You go to Sydney, would you be tempted by going to Sydney now?
The way he's coping and the way he's training on, Andrew, I definitely would. It would be an afterthought because I hadn't thought about Sydney for him, but he doesn't want to go to the paddock the way he's racing.
Good luck. Well done, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tony McAvoy joining us after winning the Group 1 VRC sires on Barely a Moment. A Group 1 to McAvoy's. David Hayes are back in Hong Kong, and Greg Childs, the winning jock.
Yes, David would be watching up in Hong Kong. He's a part owner of Barely a Moment. He won this race as a trainer at least once. Blevick in 1994 was one of David's. Might have sported those same silks too that Greg Childs is wearing this afternoon. So that's the first of 2 Group 1 races at Flemington, but the real big one, the most important one, is still to come, and it's coming up next. It's the running of the Darley Australian Cup over 2,000 metres. The only scratching from the Cup is number 4 Natural Blitz. Greg Childs has got a ride in the Cup. He's riding the Kiwi mare, the Jewel. Here's the opening market coming through for the Australian Cup, and he's still $2, Lonhro. Even money on Super Tab, $1.50 New South Wales and Unitab. Heading down there to Mackay Diva, the Melbourne Cup winner, is at $5.60. But surprisingly, Lonhro is still black figures there for the Australian Cup, and Elvstrom at $7.70. And the race coming up in a little over half an hour. Don't miss the Australian Cup. Flemington first 4 dividend, 5, 7, 14 and 13 was $40,034.10 on race 5. Lunar Spur, Darren Beedman's mount, officially ran 4th. Lonhro, he is $2, remains even money on Super Tab. Alpha's joining me to look at the runners in the Australian Cup. Did he get a good reception when he came down into the yard, Alf?
Matt, it was absolutely fantastic just how a champion should be saluted and honoured as he walked into the mounting yard. Absolutely fantastic, and you really appreciate it when people appreciate something as good as he is. And I'm not going to procrastinate, he looks outstanding.
Yes, Lonhro, great to see him there today. The multi-millionaire, 4.7 million he's won. Through the others, Mummify, trained by Lee Friedman, ran a good race in the St George, Alf.
Yes, I thought the effort was quite good. I'm just getting the impression or the feeling that in fact he might be looking for just a little bit further now than in fact the 2,000 metres, but he is getting fitter with each run.
Pentastic's got a good record at 2,000 metres, number 3, and he ran a good race in the St George.
I was so proud of Damien Oliver. At least he made a decision to try and make something occur. It didn't work out perfectly. Nevertheless, the horse was still very strong over the concluding stages, or should I say, right on the line, the last 50 yards. And from barrier 1, his 2,000 metre record here is in fact very good. A threat with the cut in the ground.
Forza scratching Zachello, number 5, trained by Peter Moody. He went very well in Tasmania, winning a few cups down there. Much tougher today, Alf.
Indeed. Under handicap conditions, sure, the effort was very good and carried the 55. Today, 58 kilos. This is his biggest test, but he'll race forward and give himself the best chance.
Physique, trained by Len Trelaw, 2 runs this time in. He's led all the way to win both of them, including the Victoria Gold Cup last start.
And he's a horse that I don't believe can go too slow in front, because then he's not suited. He looks fantastic. He continues to look well and race well. And I tell you what, he will be there for a long way.
Mackay Diva, trained by David Hall, didn't do a great deal first up in the Manifold, but a super run in the Carline Cup last start, Alf.
Correct. Died on its run first up. That was on the hot day. Recovered well. Finished off very well. And look, you won't see it looking any better. It's trimmed up. Nah, it looks great.
The Jewel, number 8, trained by Heck Anderton, Kiwi mare. She finished last in the St George Stakes. I think they had a setback with her on the way over. How does she look today?
Looks a lot lighter today than when she appeared at her last start. She's, in fact, I reckon this has lost a lot of condition. Still looks very healthy, but is a lot fitter today.
Sound Action, number 9, trained by Roberta Maguire at Colac. He didn't give up the chase behind Lonhro in the St George.
Memorable performance, I thought. You know, very genuine. She's the real deal. It tries very hard. Look, it hasn't drawn perfectly, and what you've seen is what you get. It cannot improve anymore, in my opinion. It looked fit first up and still remains the same.
Elvstrom, trained by Tony Vassell, the 3-year-old. He bounced back to winning form at Caulfield last start.
Yes, and has lightened off a little bit too to look spot on for his attempt for Group 1 glory here against the best horses in the country. Look, he'll perform.
And what about the other 3-year-old, Alpha Del Zao, number 11?
I thought, had he have had blinkers on in their most recent clash, the 3-year-olds, I thought he would have been the victor. Stevens got his way. However, the only thing that does upset me is the fact that this horse never draws a gate. What Stephen King does from gate 9, I'm not sure. Sorry, gate 8, I'm not quite sure. I'm anticipating he'll go forward. That's his best chance.
All right, that's it. That's the 11 runners, or 10 runners with the scratching, in the Australian Cup, as we return to the star of the show, Lonhro and Darren Beatman. Correct weight at Rose Hill, race 4. Through beat Owl, Jimbo and Cyclone Freddy, 11, 10 and 9. And interims at Eagle Farm, 3, 5, 4 and 2 were the numbers. The Quinella was 20.40 on Unitab. The trifecta, $139 on the third, and we stand by for correct weight. Can Lonhro make it 10 Group 1 wins? We'll find out shortly when we come back. Few of these horses have had their biggest moments at Flemington. Elvstrom won the VRC Derby. Mackay Diva won the Melbourne Cup over the 2 mile course. But Lonhro's all the rage. He's only had one previous start at Flemington, which he won. Let's return to Alf Matthews for the late mail.
Thanks very much, Matt. Look, it's just been absolutely fantastic. He's really being honoured as he deserves. I've got to put him on top. In fact, he's getting out to respectable odds now at even money on course. Pretty much the same on the tote, as you can see. He looks fantastic, and he should get a terrific run from where he's drawn. I just don't think I want to see him being beaten. I really would love to see him go out as he did start. Number 7, Mackay Diva. I put it in. I think the cut in the ground will suit this mare. The speed should be adequate with physique in it, as far as I'm concerned. I've also put number 3 in, Fantastic. It'll get the favours from gate 1. And again, the cut in the ground does suit. Of the 3-year-olds, I don't think there's anything between Elvstrom and Delzao. Elvstrom looks a little bit fitter today. He's heading the right way. Delzao, I like the look of him. I'm just going to throw him in for 4th. The simple fact, it's got the blinkers on. I'm just anticipating it might help him do something. Just looking for a little bit of value of the 3-year-olds. The speed should be good with physique. It can't afford to go too slow as far as I'm concerned, because then it won't be suited. It's an even-paced horse, and I'm sure that's what Nashville Willer will be doing. The best horse will win this race, and it's a terrific one. 1 ahead of 7, 3 and 11. How's the other 3-year-old recovered and going to perform, Andrew?
Yes, as Kate Sobrano sings the national anthem. Tony Vassell, you happy with your 3-year-old?
Yeah, I couldn't be happier with him, Andrew. As we've all known along the way, he's destined to run in the AJC Derby, and he's run in a succession of races, gradually improving in distance each run. I'd have to say, out of all his runs this preparation, this is the fittest he's been, and his work this week's been excellent. It's a great race, though. It's a very interesting race. You've got the best weight for age horse in Australia. You've got the Melbourne Cup winner, the Caulfield Cup winner, the Derby winner. It's really a great draw card for people to get back to the races on a day like today.
And they have too, haven't they? I mean, there's probably 20 to 30,000 here, and we don't normally see that crowd during the autumn in Melbourne.
Not generally, no, but a horse like Lonhro certainly is the draw card here, but the support card here also is quite good. There's no slouches in the race, so look, he'll run well, but
Physique's pace holds the key. I guess most of us expect that horse to lead. How quick it goes, how it suits the back markers a bit.
You would assume Physique will lead. Certainly will go forward. Sound Action, you'd think it'd go forward. Peter Moody's horse, the Cello, would probably be in a 4 position too. I wouldn't be surprised if my horse settled sort of 5th, 6th, 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere around about there, and Longhro's drawn outside us, whether or not we follow Longhro or sit inside him or what, but yeah, the last 600 metres is going to be a real test of stamina here, that's for sure. But it's another run heading towards the Rosehill Guineas, and ultimately we're trying to win the Derby with him. But hopefully we can upset the party.
You can pick up a handy race on the way through, eh?
You never know, do you?
Good luck, Tony.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks a lot. Tony Vassell joining us with Elvstrom. Look, it's near enough the market about that $9 quote. There's the black flash going off. They've come out to see Elf. 20 to 30,000 here. As I said to Tony, we don't normally see this crowd. We had only 10,000 for the Blue Diamond. The crowd has really got behind this horse going to the barrier.
Well, I was in fact very disappointed earlier in the day. I thought, gee, the crowd isn't going to be all that good. But as we've got closer to the event, they really have flocked. And it's very hard for us, as you know, to really estimate what the crowd is, because with the facilities of the new stand now, there are so many people that are in fact are hidden that we don't even see. And we know it's chock-a-block.
No, it certainly is. There's no doubt about it. Let's do a run through, though. Run slightly right here. Lonro's been easy, as Elf's mentioned. It's flip of the coin on track. Mummify's been a little bit easy. You're shopping very well on the tote at the moment for Mummify. Fantastic, $11. It's been a drifter out to double figure odds. You're very close. Zacello, you're unders the tote. It's the outsider in the race here on track. Then we get to Physique. Now, it's been spec, this horse. Got out to really big odds, tightened up. You're shopping very well on the tote at 23. It's been, as I say, supported. Maccabi Diva, it's been supported as well. Very close on and off track, but at least they're supporting it. It's showing you an indication here that the people here, maybe around the stable, fancy the mare. The Jewel, it is the outsider as I look here. Sound Action, value the tote number 9 at $10. It's drifted out a little bit, so too Elstrom and Del Zao. It's at big odds, $23, just a shade of value, not a lot between on off track. So the favourite, clearly Lonro, but they're supporting Maccabi Diva, and the one that they're specking at odds, tightening up now, is the Elita Physique, number 6. Well, Elf, in 1997, we saw Octagonal, the dad of Lonro, win this race. We've seen a couple of 3-year-olds. We saw Dandy Andy upstage it when we all thought Vo Rogue was going to win it. This could be one hell of a race we're about to see.
Oh, there's no question about that. And as I said in my pre-race, I do believe Physique has to stride evenly throughout to be suited. If he doesn't do it, he won't pick up over the concluding stages. He's got to try and time it evenly throughout, so it should guarantee a brisk, nice Australian Cup.
Lonro's just standing there. The Black Flash is thinking, what in the heck is all this fuss about? And there the girls waving the Lonro flags. Maybe we're about to wave him to victory, Matt. The Australian Cup coming up.
Exactly right. And just before we hand you over to Greg, just pointing out the grounds of the protest up in Brisbane. It's 4th versus 2nd for alleged interference over the last 200 metres of the race. Crime Wave is the horse that got a check. 3, 5, 4 and 2, and that protest is on at Eagle Farm. Darren Beedman's back on board Lonro today. Darren Gauci looked after him last start, winning the St George Stakes, but he was just warming the saddle. It's Beedman back on board today. This is Lonro's Melbourne Swan Song, and the Victorians have turned out to give him a terrific send-off this afternoon. Cerise everywhere. It's a sea of cerise at Flemington this afternoon. And they are moving in for the Group 1 Australian Cup. Here's Greg Miles.
Here's the Jewel now coming up, and Del Zao about to approach the stalls. Zacello, who's been flying down in Tasmania, takes a quantum leap to Group 1 level today. Goes into the stalls in the white colours. Del Zao is ready, sports the blinkers for the first time. Here's Elstrom, the Derby winner, coming along into the line now. He's ready. So 3 to get set. We need Maccabi Diva, Sound Action. And here he is, the big black stallion, Lonro, coming up. Can he depart Melbourne racing a winner, as did his sire Octagonal in 1997? A huge crowd at Flemington certainly wishes so. Sound Action now coming into her place in the gates. And last up for the Cup will be the Melbourne Cup winner, Maccabi Diva. $1.70 for Lonro, $6.60 for Maccabi Diva. And here she comes into the gates now. The Darley Australian Cup field is locked in. They're ready. Set. Racing in the Cup. And a good start with Zacello beginning quickly. Lonro was away fast and he's going forward early. Physique is up there, and so is Elstrom, Mummify, and Sound Action out wide. Maccabi Diva straight back to last. At the